Good evening and welcome to the NCWLIFE Evening News. Grant Olson remains on vacation. I'm Jefferson Robbins. We have plenty of news for you this Veterans Day evening. Before we get to that, though, we should take a quick look outside of our weather window. The picture is the one you see out your window, too. The morning into the afternoon saw some gentle precip, plus a few sunbreaks, not unlike previous days this week. But this view from our cross cam shows the valley as the rain began to roll in. You could see it coming as early as lunchtime today. Looking ahead, we see a more pleasant temperature mix, but also a continuing collection of sun, clouds, and rain persisting all the way through this upcoming weekend. Dan Kuntz will be along a little bit later with your full weather outlook. But now, a few of the stories we're following for you tonight. A house fire in southwestern Kashmir required a response from 4 different fire agencies on Wednesday afternoon. A suspected armed robber accused of plaguing the Omak area for weeks is now in custody. And a new affordable housing development is on the horizon for Entiat. Our top story tonight: after a year off because of the COVID-19 pandemic, the Veterans Day Parade returned to Wenatchee today. An appreciative crowd lined the streets to honor our area veterans. Here are some sights and sounds from the event. Thank you, veterans. A Kashmir house fire required a 4-agency response on Wednesday because of a lack of nearby fire hydrants. Kashmir Fire Chief Phil Mosier says the fire started in the upper apartment of a subdivided 2-story house in the 6100 block of Pioneer Drive. No one was home in either apartment when the fire was reported about 12:40 p.m. Mosier said it took about half an hour to control the blaze, leaving fire and smoke damage throughout the upper story, water damage down below. Water tenders and other vehicles from 3 nearby fire districts also arrived to make sure there was enough water on hand. The cause remains under investigation. Well, law enforcement in Okanogan County arrested a suspect and 2 alleged accomplices Tuesday evening in a string of armed robberies in Omak dating back to October 24th. Okanogan County Sheriff Tony Hawley said his office and the Omak police identified and arrested 33-year-old Stephen Vasquez of Omak. Vasquez was allegedly involved in a high-speed chase on Sunday after police responded to a robbery call at the Omak Chevron, but he was able to escape on foot after abandoning his vehicle at the mall. Hawley said information from the vehicle led police to identify Vasquez on Tuesday. Police arrested him at his home on East Grape Street on 14 criminal counts, including first-degree robbery, first-degree kidnapping, and first-degree assault. In addition, Moses Lake residents Stephen Vasquez Sr. and Barbara Riley were booked for rendering criminal assistance. Well, a new affordable housing development is on the horizon for Entiat. A $15.1 million tax credit deal is expected to pave the way for Mountain View Family Housing, a 12-building affordable community on the site of a former orchard. The development will eventually include 65 affordable homes, 52 of which are set aside specifically for local farm workers. Rents will range from $376 for a one-bedroom apartment to $991 for a four-bedroom, for occupants earning a maximum of 30, 40, or 50% of the area's median income. Well, coming up next, a healthy share of Chinook salmon are surviving their trip through one of NCW's iconic dams. And Lawrence the dog makes his debut in this week's Pause for Pets. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News. Stay with us.
Saturday, December 4th, RLS Productions presents the West Coast Best Bon Jovi and Journey tribute bands at the Wenatchee Convention Center. Non Jovi will bring back the stadium rock of the 80s, and the Infinity Project celebrates Journey, one of rock and roll's greatest hitmakers. Guests may enjoy an exquisite dinner before the concert or just the concert. Dinner and concert tickets are available at rlstickets.com. That's rlstickets.com.
A new novel is now available at Amazon.com. The title, Lost Treasure of the China Bar, details life on the Columbia River and Plateau during the 1800s. You ask, is the treasure still buried somewhere near Chelan? Find out by reading Lost Treasure of the China Bar.
Lost Treasure of the China Bar. Buy it on Amazon.com. $12.99 for paperback, $2.99 for Kindle. A great gift.
I'm John Divis from Wenatchee Dental Arts, and I like to think myself as a comprehensive dentist. We are an office that treats people comprehensively for their dental problems. We do a lot of general dentistry in a broad sense. We don't send everything out. Things that we have the ability to do in the office, we like to keep in the office and under one roof and keep things as complication-free as possible. You can come to one place and have all their dental needs taken care of.
Welcome back. Almost 94.5% of young Chinook salmon last spring passed safely through Rock Island Dam on their way to the Pacific. That's better than the 93% target the Chelan County PUD was hoping for when it began the salmon tracking project. The findings are part of a 10-year study to follow yearling Chinook from just below Rocky Reach Dam to about 1,000 feet below Rock Island Dam. PUD fish biologists made the measurements by tagging salmon with tracking devices no larger than a grain of rice. There were fortunately no serious injuries in a pair of accidents Wednesday in East Wenatchee that did significant damage to 4 vehicles. About 12:30 Wednesday afternoon, 2 vehicles collided at the intersection of Grant and Rock Island Road, with one car ending up on its roof. East Wenatchee Assistant Police Chief Eric Hampton said he didn't have details on the cause of the accident or any citations issued. Then, just after 6 p.m., a pickup and car collided at North Kentucky Avenue and 8th Street. Hampton said one of the drivers was cited for failing to yield at the stop sign coming onto Kentucky from 8th. Neither accident required hospitalization. It's time now for our weekly Pause for Pets feature from the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society. Tonight, our special guest is a dog named Lawrence.
This week on Pause for Pets, Jenny Ulrich, the volunteer and outreach coordinator for the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society, introduces us to a retriever Australian cattle dog named Lawrence.
Lawrence is about 2 years old. He's a young, active, fun, playful guy. He's what we call our playgroup rock star here. So he goes to playgroup and plays with probably majority of our dogs here at the shelter. So he's just got a really nice play style to him with other dogs. He seems to be able to match our shy girls. He also plays with our rough and rowdy males. Overall, Lawrence is just such an awesome guy. He loves people. People are his kind of thing, but he also likes other dogs. He'd probably make a great dog for somebody that's active, that wants to go hiking, walking, running. Lawrence is just he's truly one of your gem of a dogs. He's what we call our unicorn dog because he's just so good with everyone and other animals. And yeah, you're pretty great, aren't you?
If you are interested in meeting and adopting Lawrence, the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society is located at 1474 South Wenatchee Avenue and is open 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. and closed 1:30 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. for quiet hour. Give them a call at 509-662-9577 or visit their website at wenatcheehumane.org.
That's a handsome guy. Coming up next, Veteran Service Officer Sarah Simonson is on duty to help former service members in Douglas County. That plus weather and sports still to come on the NCWLIFE Evening News. Stay with us.
At Wenatchee Power Sports, we proudly offer the Polaris product line. Polaris builds the highest quality side-by-side in the industry, with off-road capability that's second to none. The Polaris pre-order program allows customers to purchase the vehicle they want without having to select from limited dealer inventory. The Wenatchee Valley has year-round access to some of the best ORV trails in the Northwest. Start your adventure here at Wenatchee Power Sports.
You love to help others. You need a solid career. You can have it all with help from Charter College. Our 10-month medical assistant program prepares you to work in healthcare settings like physician offices, rehab centers, and clinics. You'll learn to take patient vitals, assist with exams, administer injections, and maintain medical records. When you're ready to launch a rewarding healthcare career, visit chartercollege.edu because we work to get you to work.
Traditional values and innovation in honoring the life of each family we serve is part of the ministry of Heritage Memorial Chapel. Our staff is committed to walk with your family with compassion through this time of grief. We are here to help and here to serve, the right kind of help when you need it most. Heritage Memorial Chapel.
Welcome back to the NCWLIFE Evening News. Even around Veterans Day, it can still be hard for ex-service members to find just the right resources. Sarah Simonson used to serve her country in the Air Force. She's now the Veteran Service Officer for Douglas County, where she's helped at least 1,000 formerly enlisted people. I spoke with her about local veterans' needs and what her office can do to assist. Now, you came into the VSO position after a military service of your own. Can you tell me about your military service?
Yes, I served January 99 to December 2004 in the Air Force. At first, I was a security forces patrolman, so I was patrol cars and gate guard duty and armory and things along those lines. I had the opportunity to cross-train into financial management and found out that I liked desk jobs a lot better.
Tell me about Douglas County Veterans Services and the kind of things that you're able to do for veterans.
One of the main things that I have to do is manage the Douglas County Veterans Relief Funds. So there's a portion of the home taxes that go into a fund. That fund is specifically set aside to help veterans in need. Those Veterans Relief Funds can help with a veteran who has an unexpected medical bill or needs a small vehicle repair to get to medical appointments or a job. Help with electricity or gas, anything. If a veteran finds themselves in a rough situation and just kind of needs a little help out of it, that's what those veteran relief funds are for. The other main part of my job is helping veterans get connected with federal benefits through the VA, either the VA healthcare system, VA benefit system, or survivors of veterans applying for burial reimbursement.
How many veterans are you working with in Douglas County, whether that be a number of people who seek your help or people that you're just aware of who are veterans in Douglas County?
Well, according to my metrics, the things that I've been able to keep track of, since January 2019, I have assisted at least 1,000 veterans, and those are just the ones that I've actually done casework for. That's not answering the phone and answering questions or talking with people or going to events to help with information. The veteran population in Douglas County, last I knew, was about 15% of the people living in Douglas County are veterans, and I would consider that a rather large percentage of people in that area. Not all of them seek help. Not all of them attempt to get benefits from the VA, either through healthcare or benefits along those lines. And a lot of them don't even understand what's available for them. So that's something else that I try to do in my office, is let people know that not only my office exists, but as a veteran, there are certain things you're eligible for.
Once again, Dan Coons filling in for Grant Olson. He'll be back on Monday. Can't wait to see Grant again. He does this better than I do, but we're going to fight our way through it, and we're going to be fighting our way through some significant rainfall this afternoon, tonight, and right on into Friday, which is why we wanted to show you this beautiful shot from our cross camera while we still had sun bathing the Wenatchee Valley, because the sun's going to be taking, well, some time off, as you might imagine. Take a look at the almanac. 44 our high today, a little cooler than normal, but just a little bit. 36 for the overnight low. A record high temperature of 59 back in 1990. If you lived in the Wenatchee Valley in the winter of 1985, you remember how bitterly cold it was. We went through a long stretch of just super cold weather. That's why 13 was the overnight low set back in 1985. Trace of rain today, but there's more coming. Details coming up, and now we're below that 9.5 hours of daylight. Even though we're back to standard time, daylight saving time is over. Sunrise is now at 7 a.m. in the morning and sunset before 4:30. All right, let's take a look at the forecast highs for tomorrow. And the first thing you're going to notice is going to be a lot warmer tomorrow. We got warm tropical air coming in. Again, I'll give you those details in just a second. 53 in Moses Lake, 52 in Ephrata. Omak will be in the 50s. Pretty much everybody, with the exception of the Lake Wenatchee area, and even Lake Wenatchee is going to be kissing right about the 50-degree mark. Very mild temperatures for this time of the year. High temperatures about 10 degrees above normal because we got warm, moist air coming our way from Hawaii, of all places. By the way, it was 85 and sunny in Maui today, rubbing that in. What's going on? I'll step out of the way and let you know. We showed you this yesterday. Here's the latest. That Pineapple Express, which is taking aim right at the Pacific Northwest. Again, it starts in northern Hawaii, works its way up right to the Wenatchee Valley. There's a weak ridge of high pressure in British Columbia that is bumping it right back down into the Pacific Northwest. So rain for everybody. That atmospheric river, it's like a giant fire hose that's coming our way. So get ready for some significant rain. It starts starting about 3 o'clock, 3:30 this afternoon. Heavy rain all night tonight, right on in to Friday morning. So for the rest of the day today till midnight tonight, because that's how they do these things, we're looking at anywhere from 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 an inch of rain, and then an additional 1/2 inch of rain just for the Wenatchee Valley is expected tonight into Friday morning. The rain should be done by about 8 a.m. tomorrow morning. Other locations, Leavenworth could get a couple of inches of rain, and the mountain passes could get 4 or 5 inches of rain. And the snow level is going to go up to about 7,000 feet. Heavy, heavy rain is going to hit that Cascade Crest, and normally we have that rain shadow that keeps us fairly dry. Not going to be the case because, as you notice from that satellite image, it's kind of coming down from the southwest, so we don't really have the Cascades to keep us in that rain lee and keep us fairly dry. We're going to get some big-time rain, maybe not quite record-setting rain, but certainly rain. And then right behind that, very mild temperatures. We're going to be well into the 50s on Friday, on Saturday, and on Sunday. It's going to be almost 60 degrees out in the Columbia Basin. They'll be pushing record highs as this warm, moist air comes in. We'll be between systems on Saturday, and then more unsettled weather expected on Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. But those temperatures are going to remain above normal, in some locations well above normal, starting, well, today really, but really right into the weekend. Very mild, almost tropical weather for the middle of November is what we're going to be seeing. But the big story again, a lot of rain. All right, to wrap it up for you, 44 for a high today. It is raining. 44 for the overnight low tonight. I kid you not. This happens all the time when we get these kind of situations. Very little or no temperature variation between the high and the low. Look at that, 55. With lots of clouds and some rain. Now the rain Friday will be in the morning. We'll dry out Friday afternoon. Between systems on Saturday, next system on Sunday, but it's not packing a great deal of punch. What we will have is very, very mild temperatures with the overnight lows and the afternoon highs much, much warmer than we normally see this time of year. We go back to seasonable weather on Tuesday and Wednesday. That is your forecast. Still to come, sports with Eric Granstrom and more with our good friend Jefferson Robbins. You're watching the NCWLIFE Evening News.
At Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house fresh daily. Featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
At D.A. Davidson in Wenatchee, they believe your investment success begins with a personalized plan. A plan that is the roadmap you need to navigate your way to living your best years in retirement. D.A. Davidson can help you create a plan so you can take the time to enjoy the finer things in life. Let the financial advisors at D.A. Davidson help chart your retirement future today.
What is home? A place to gather, a place to grow, provide shelter for the ones we love, eat, drink, restore, build trust. It's a place to rest when the workday is done, a place to find quiet after a night of good fun. What an honor we have at Guild to help own, finance, create, pave the way to live in home.
And now it's a sports update on the NCWLIFE channel.
And a happy Thursday to you. The Tigers are moving on to the next round of the state 1B, 2B girls soccer tournament. Tonasket slayed the St. George's Dragons yesterday, 5-2 in Tonasket. The 7th-seeded Tigers now move on to the quarterfinals this weekend to face 2nd-seeded Kalama. Meanwhile, top seed Okanagan now knows whom they'll face in the quarterfinals on Saturday afternoon in Wenatchee. Adna edged Cle Elum Roslyn yesterday 1-0 to advance to face the Bulldogs. That'll be at 1 o'clock in the Apple Bowl on Saturday. It was an early wake-up call for the Nannies this morning at the State 1B volleyball tournament. Pateras faced Shoreline Christian in a win and advance or lose and go home match at 8 o'clock this morning. Unfortunately, Pateras lost in straight sets, 25-14, 13-12. Waterville Mansfield took on Nia Bay earlier today in the first round. They lost the first set. We'll get to the rest of that coming up tomorrow morning on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Shockers will play at 8:15 tonight against Odessa or Republic. At the State 2B volleyball tournament, Manson won its first round match over Tri-Cities Prep in straight sets, 25-7, 14, and 9. Trojans are taking on Goldendale in the quarterfinals here right now, as a matter of fact. Okanagan was also a winner in the first round of the State 2B tournament. Bulldogs down 2 to Lake after dropping the first set 21-25. They won the next three, 25-19, 13, and 23. Okanagan playing LaConner in the quarterfinals, that game underway. Well, turning to the Big Nine, they came out with their all-league selections in football, and 9 Wenatchee Panthers were chosen. Trey Jagla is a first-team all-offensive lineman, while Camden Lloydhammer is on the first-team all-defense. Wenatchee coach Scott Devereaux says the meeting to select the vote on the postseason awards between coaches is always interesting.
Basically, you nominate the guys you believe are worthy of an all-league. Some discussion ensues, and then a vote. You can't vote for your own kids. And then it just kind of lays out. If you get 10 points for a first place vote and 6 for a second and 3 for a third, I think. And where the numbers fall, that's where kids end up, first, second, or honorable mention. And it's always different. Every year is a little different. I assume typically, the top 2 or 3 teams should probably have the most guys nominated. And I'm always a little shocked sometimes when a team that has 1 win or 2 wins nominates 11, 12, 13 guys. And I always kind of, if you have 12 or 13 all-league players, you should be pretty good, and we have coaches that do that, which I never understand.
Jagla was selected as a first-team offensive lineman despite missing most of the season with a hand injury. Devereaux says coaches remember his work in the past as much as what he did this season.
And I think part of it with Trey was he was really good as a sophomore, and he was all league as a sophomore, and some coaches voted for him based on that, and you can watch film. Like, I voted for number 7 from Davis. We haven't played him yet, but I can see on film he's a really good football player. I wouldn't have voted for him for MVP, but I did vote for him for first-team running back because I could tell that this guy's a dude. So I think a guy like Trey gets votes because they know that he's the best center in the league, but it was tough. When I nominated and I talked about him, I said, some of you guys he didn't play against this year because he was hurt. And then I think it was Coach Don said, yeah, but I saw him play a whole game with one hand. I'm like, yeah, he did. The first game of the year, he played with one hand, and he's just a great player.
Wenatchee travels to Yakima to face Davis tonight in the final game of the season. Devereaux says he appreciates the opportunity to spend one more week around his players.
I enjoy every day hanging out with these guys. You can really tell our players like each other. Last night after practice, I had to kick them out of the stadium because they're just hanging out, playing catch, throwing the ball. walk out, close the gate, and they're still hanging out in the parking lot. And it's, go home. It's cold, and I want to go home and eat dinner. So go home. And they just like to hang out. So it's nice to be around kids that enjoy each other. I've been on teams where that wasn't always the case.
While Wenatchee will end its season tonight, Eastmont and Moses Lake continue on in the playoffs tomorrow. Devereaux says he and the rest of the coaches of the Big Nine shake their heads at how teams east of the mountains are seeded when it comes to the playoffs.
Yeah, you look at the seeding, we have our top 16. It almost looks to me like the RPI didn't have a lot to do with it. Especially when we saw, the RPI of Moses Lake and Eastmont was pretty high. They're both around that top 10 or under. And then to see them go 15 and 11 or whatever didn't fit right, and I know there's a human element to that whole process and the seeding, but the fact that our number one team, Moses Lake, who played pretty darn good football, lost to two really good teams early in the season, ended up where they are, I don't think quite fits, and I think Eastmont could have been seeded a little better too, but I also know that as long as I've been here that the other side of the mountains seems to get a little more press. There's some really good teams that have won the state tournament from this side of the mountains. Chiawana, Several, Pasco, Richland, Lewis and Clark. G-Prep's going to be in it, I think, this year has a true shot. So the fact that some of those guys are on the same side of the bracket doesn't make sense to me either.
Here's a look at the final RPI ranking by the WIAA compared to the seeding for the state 4A tournament. Only two teams were seeded with the same rank that they had in the final RPI, Eastlake and Skyview. Eastmont's RPI was 12 with a 15th seed, while Moses Lake's final RPI was 16, and they were seeded 11th. One thing Devereaux knows for sure about tonight is that Ricardo Acevedo, the league's co-MVP, is going to give his defense fits.
I think we're both about the same. I do know they have the co-MVP of the league, which you don't see very often from a team with their record. But number 7 is a great football player. He plays running back and linebacker. He looks great on film, and the coaches at the All-League meeting spoke very highly of him. And so we know we got to stop that guy for sure.
Wenatchee and Davis kick off tonight at 6 o'clock. Eastmont plays at Eastlake tomorrow at 7, while Moses Lake travels to Gonzaga Prep. We'll have more of a preview of the Wildcats coming up tomorrow. Well, it's been 615 days since Wenatchee Wild fans saw their last team play home ice hockey at the Town Toyota Center. That streak comes to an end tonight when the Wild host the West Kelowna Warriors in BCHL action at 6 o'clock. Wenatchee's been on the road in Canada for the first 8 games of the season due to COVID restrictions. The two teams will also play tomorrow night at 7 o'clock. Tickets on sale at WenatcheeWildHockey.com. Seattle Kraken will try to get back in the win column in NHL play tonight. They are home to host the Anaheim Ducks at Climate Pledge Arena. That starts at 7 o'clock. That can be seen on Root Sports. That's sports. Jefferson, back to you.
Eric, thank you so much as always. That's going to do it for our newscast tonight. For more on these stories and other news from around North Central Washington, find us on Facebook or our website, NCWLIFE.com. Do remember, if you see news happening, we would like to hear from you. You can send us an email, news@ncwlife.com, or give us a call, 888-NCWL. That's 888-6295. I'm Jefferson Robbins. Thanks for joining us. Thank you, veterans. Have a great evening.
Counterplay inside, picking his way back to the 10, to the 5, into the...
High school sports is back, and NCW Life Channel's got you covered. Tune in for football, girls soccer, and volleyball right here. Thanks to our sponsors, Harvest Valley Pest Control, Rivercom 911, and Sangster Motors. Follow all the action of high school sports on your local TV station, the NCW Life Channel.
14, they come back.
News, weather, and sports. It's all here weekdays at 5, 6, and 10 on your local news source, the NCW Life Channel.